Cough it up, Frank. Yeah, there you go. Oh my god, dude.
Hello, ladles, jelly spoons, and other non-binary kitchen utensils. This is the Gravy Wheels podcast, your weekly dose of the gravy. I'm Franklin.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Hova. Hey.
Hey.
I have a confession to make, guys.
Okay.
I'm a weeb now.
Oh my god, you did. You started it.
Yeah, I finished episode 5 of Attack on Titan right before we got on here.
Oh.
Yeah, I finally, everybody. So here's the things that led up to this event. Is like everybody, that's one that a lot of people talk about.
Was it? Hold on a second. I just want to make a guess before you give me the actual information. Is it the fucking Call of Duty tie-in?
One of the reasons. So I've always had a lot of people, John and AJ both watch it and they highly recommend it. And then, there was they've added it to Call of Duty a couple times through, I don't know if it's just been like packs or events or whatever. But then also Hobby Central has started selling, Weiss Schwartz, trading cards, and the way that they do that trading card game is really weird and different than other trading card games. They sign deals with IP, with like existing anime and shows and stuff that are popular, and then they make a set around that IP. So they've done like Adventure Time, they've done Attack on Titan, they've done Batman Ninja, they've done a bunch of like crazy stuff, and so it's one of those things like, well, if I'm going to be selling it with my company, I kind of want to like understand it more. And so, and also that I just sold, one of the newer sets is Rwby, Rwby, which is an anime that I didn't know anything about until I looked at the box and it was like, it had rooster teeth. And I was like, what the fuck? And I asked my buddy that's like really knowledgeable in all this stuff. I was like, rooster teeth, like the rooster teeth that made Red vs. Blue, right? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, did not know that. So apparently they're a little bit into the anime game too. So, but yeah, I just figured if I'm going to dive into anime, that would be a good one to start on. And so far I'm enjoying it. It's good.
I've seen a few characters from that game pop up at fighting games, and just out of pure stubbornness, I refuse to pronounce it Rwby. I always have to say Rwby.
Rwby? Yeah.
Rwby.
Yeah. That's how you should do it.
I don't know why it's taking you so long to watch anime and why you would start with that, but whatever, I get it. I get it now.
Because I've traditionally, the yelling madman does not like the weebs, Frank. Okay? And I have to fit my bill. You know what I mean? I have to stay in character at all times. Okay?
Yeah, you live your gimmick, as wrestlers are encouraged not to do.
You know how many draw 4 cards I sign on any given day of the year? I'm wildly famous. I have to keep my image going. Exactly.
You have to sign this for me. I mean,
I got you. As long as you don't flip it on eBay, we won't have problems.
Fuck you.
But,
you telling me not to flip something on eBay. That's rich. That's fucking real rich.
No, not me telling you not to flip anything on eBay. Me telling you not to flip personal favors for you on eBay. Okay? That's what we're talking about here. That's the discussion. Don't twist it, all right? I don't want to hear your fucking propaganda today. NASA hat wearing fucking asshole.
So now that you're just knee deep in all the anime, is there anything else that you are thinking about watching? Are you taking suggestions or what?
So I guess actually before Attack on Titan, I am open to suggestions, but the cool thing is that like the episodes are like 20 minutes, maybe even a little less after you factor like intro, outro. So it's easy to just like catch a couple while I'm like, I have a little bit of downtime from doing whatever. Yeah. But there's like 5 seasons, I think, or something like that. 20 episodes each season. So there's quite a bit. So I don't want to like get too deep too fast. But I realized I actually did watch a little bit of anime before that. And that was the Halo stuff that's out there. I bought like a collection DVD. I think it's called Halo Legends. And it's got different Halo animes on there, like a collection of them. I think it's like 7 different ones. And I watched that with my boys, and It was pretty good. And I think that kind of like opened my eyes. I was like, man, if I can enjoy Halo anime, why couldn't I enjoy general anime? I don't know. I don't like the shit that's like too weeby. I don't want to see like stuff with like big titted women just to have big titted women, and like I don't know. Anime is just funny to me. Like, there's always like a teardrop when there doesn't need to be, and like rays of light are like sparkling off of nipples and shit. And I don't know.
I think
It's a different world.
You're probably doing a little bit of. I think a lot of experience. Your previous experience with anime was just hentai, which is fine. I mean, that's all of us. If you're on the internet for long enough, and yeah, I'm with you. I haven't seen a lot of the only animes I've seen that have come out in the last probably 5 years, or even more than that, is like I watched part of One Punch Man.
Yeah,
which is super fun. Is very enjoyable. And I read a lot of. So then I ended up watching a lot of JoJo.
So yeah, that's another thing is through the eBay thing that Frank despises me for on a personal level. I was at a Goodwill. At a Goodwill in Texas for Christmas 2 years ago, I think, something like that. And we pulled into this Goodwill and we were looking around. And for those of you guys that don't know, I run an eBay business as well with all my other 9,000 businesses. So if I find stuff on the low, I'll buy it and flip it for higher. Pretty easy concept. So Goodwill is one of those places you can go and maybe get lucky and find some rare, obscure games or whatever that somebody didn't know the value to. And while I was in there, there's a bookcase. I walk over to this bookcase, and I had found and knew what manga was a little bit. I'd find one or two here and there, and I had learned through that experience that if you find one or two, it's like kind of whatever, they're not worth much. But if you find a set of like of 10, and that's even if there's 20 books, but you find the first 10 and they're in good condition, that can go for pretty good money. Now, if you find all 20 of that set, then you're talking real good money. But if you just find one or two, it's not that big of a deal. But I walk over to this bookshelf, and it's just an entire bookshelf full of manga and all kinds of different sets, but like 20 to 30, of each, some little 15 sets and stuff like that. And they've got all kinds of different weird prices on them and stuff like that. I like asked for a manager, and I was like, I will buy that entire bookcase full of the manga if you give them to me for like 25 cents a piece or whatever. And they talked me up a little bit, and I ended up getting them for like $1 a piece. I think it was like 140 books or something altogether. So I spent like 140. By the time I was done selling it all, I made like $4,000. So since then, I've been like really paying more attention to manga and stuff. So I think it's just, with all the worlds colliding, I'm kind of trying to understand that thing, that whole genre a little bit more.
That's good. I'm proud of you. Proud of you for
stepping out.
Expanding your wings.
Got to do it, I guess, right?
You got to watch. You'll got to watch Cowboy Bebop at some point. That's a rite of passage.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the other one that I hear about constantly. But doesn't everybody hate the new show that just got put out on?
Posers do.
Nobody's
okay.
Nobody
I never
cares
know.
about that.
I hear both sides of the coin. I feel like on that.
So like, Princess Mononoke, Akira. What's the one about the Black Rain, the Hiroshima, the Fireflies? Oh, what is that? That one's really good. Anime is art instead of, it's like Graveyard of the Fireflies or something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the name of it.
Really good. A lot of the Gundam stuff. There's like anime out there that's not like all weeby shit, like fucking Inuyasha and Rurouni Kenshin and all that fucking stupid dumb bullshit. But
yeah, I think the less weeby it is, the more I'll enjoy it. Like, I can get behind Attack on Titan because so far I get a very I don't know how familiar you guys are with it, but I have a very like Game of Thrones feel to it almost, just in the sense that there's like a wall and there's scary things on the other side of the wall and safety's on this side, and like figuring out what that is and everything. It's like Game of Thrones with less sex and wolves and short people.
It seems very Western to me. I have not actually watched any of Attack on Titan, but it does seem like a very sort of Western setting concept. So,
speaking of series, not anime, but the playoffs this weekend at halftime, they will be revealing this lovely man's new TV series. I don't know if you guys saw that news. I saw it, I think, this morning. So
What?
I'm excited to see the trailer for that.
Who's gonna
first year?
Who's gonna play John 17?
The Rock. You didn't hear?
Oh,
You didn't
shit.
see his
John
tweet?
Cena.
They're gonna fuck up his proportions.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think he would definitely not fit in John's armor.
No, he's too swole.
Yep, way too fucking swole.
Maybe we could get a Vincenzo Diesel in there, perhaps.
You never know. It's far too early to drink, but you do you, buddy. On the Halo note, I did.
It's a root beer, I bet.
A boot rear, or is it a what's that other one that's real close to root beer that they do in Pennsylvania?
Sarsaparilla.
Birchwood. Have you ever had the Birchwood ones?
No, since I can't drink and I have an oral fixation, I'm drinking fancy sodas.
You do have an oral fixation. That's why I love hanging out with you, buddy. If you know what I'm saying, giggity. Anyways, so on the Halo note, I finished Halo Infinite, and the campaign was a good. I did enjoy it. It was fun. It was fun, and I didn't really mess with much of the side stuff along the way. I have a bad habit of either staying completely linear in games like that or just going completely off the rails, kind of either or, you know what I mean? And in this one, I basically just stuck to the story and played through it. But and the way that they talked about it, I thought that you, like, once you beat the storyline, you weren't gonna, like, be able to play the campaign anymore unless you, like, started a new one. But that's not true. Once you beat the campaign, you just spawn at, like, a fob, and then you're still on Zeta Halo, and you can go do whatever you want. So I've been kind of backtracking. I just started at the tippity top of the map, and I've just been working down, hitting all the fobs, all the little boss battles, all the fucking Magellan lockers, and the Spartan cores, and the propaganda towers, and everything on the way down, and been having a lot of fun with it. I finally got enough valor to be able to spawn in the wasp, right?
Wasp, yeah.
Wasp. And that makes it so much more enjoyable because it's a huge map, and even like if you get a warthog or like a mongoose, you're like just trying to navigate around trees, and then your objectives up here, you're like, I don't even know if I could drive up there, and you end up just grappling the entire way. But once you get that wasp, you can just set waypoints and zip zap zoobity bop all over the map, and it's been really fun. I'm enjoying it. I see how Frank got lost on the campaign and just completely got sucked into the side stuff because there's so much too.
That's why I haven't finished the campaign, is because that's like one of the big motivations I get for playing games. One of the things that drives me is unlocking stuff, finding new items, weapons, vehicles, whatever.
Right.
And you do that mostly through the side objectives in Halo Infinite, and not through the story. So I have stalled out on the story, and I just, I've done like all the fobs and all that shit.
That's a good point. I wonder if they took that into consideration, that like, hey, we've added so much awesome stuff on the side that people are going to be completely distracted.
It's like every game,
like,
though. Every open world game is like that, though. Now, I mean,
yeah.
So I'm looking now, like, because I feel like I've the last 2 nights I've put like an hour or two, at least maybe 3, into just like going and hitting those, and I'm still only 38% max valor, 28% banished outpost, 25% banished audio log, 16% forward operating bases. Like, it's crazy. If you load up the interactive map on the website and look at the amount of shit on the map, it is insane. And I really want to I want 100% everything.
Have you been getting all of the Spartan lockers and stuff too that have the cosmetics in them?
Yeah, the Mjolnir, those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting those. Oh, this map even has... I pulled up a Halo interactive map on mapgenie.io. And it's even got Easter egg locations. That's really cool.
like the
Speaking
arcade.
of Halo cosmetics, do we want to talk a little bit about the revised store?
Yeah, I think we should.
What are you doing with what the fuck is this, Frank?
Cat ears for life, bitch.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
like more like this.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem to have actually listened pretty well. And like now prices make sense and they're selling things pretty much a la carte, which is
Right.
better. I mean, like still there's a helmet in the store, I think that's like $7 or whatever. And that's a lot, but at least it's not bundled with 8 other things that you don't care about.
That's probably the one I saw a push notification on my phone from Reddit, and it was like, "Is this worth $7?" And I didn't click on it to read it, but that's probably
Well, especially because they're selling other stuff. Like there's, I think, a new one of those armor effect things that sort of follows you around.
yeah.
You get that and a set of icons for I think like $8.
I was looking through that one yesterday. I think, yeah, like it was like purple, kind of like a little digital effect, maybe.
Kind of,
Something like
yeah, a
that.
little bit like
Yeah,
that.
something simple, but I mean, not bad. I didn't think. Yeah,
I think, yeah. I mean, just the fact that they're breaking up those bundles is what I like. That's what I'm. It is important to me
right.
because it sucked having to spend like, if you wanted like a cool visor color and it came with like 8 other things, you're gonna shell out $20 just to get a cool face thing.
What do you guys think about the new game mode attrition? Now that we've had a decent amount of time to actually
I like
try
attrition.
It's good. It's really fun with friends. It's really fun with good communication.
Yeah, I think it's one of the. I mean, is there really any game type in Halo that you can't say that you know? I mean, it's pretty much everything. You're like, well, it's you got to have friends, or there's a lot more than other games. I feel like at least we'll put it that way. But yeah, playing with randos is really it's really discouraging because I think I've only had a game or two where I've actually had somebody go positive and like actually help out the team, to where it's usually just people that are like at least a few deaths negative, and it's just like, do you understand that the whole point of
Yeah.
this is like, don't run around and play like a regular Halo match, like stay alive. That's the most important thing. Every time you die, you're fucking the team.
To like, I have to adjust my like Halo brain when I'm playing
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
typically when I'm playing Halo, and this has been true, for a long time, I'm always like chasing kills. You want the kill. But you realize eventually that the way that you actually help your team is just not dying.
Yeah.
Like take kills where you can get them, but prioritize
Right.
your life over everything else.
And see, I think
Because-
that's where I've started to get better at Halo. In the later years, is that I've taught myself that rule a long time ago. Even if it's, I mean, Team Slayer is pretty obvious, but even if it's like CTF and stuff like that, I mean, just being one man down trying to defend a flag or whatever can really put your team in a bad spot. So I've really tried in my later years of Halo, just like understanding to myself, quit trying to fucking run around and get like a lucky overkill and shit. Depending on what the other team that you're playing is like, I think, is kind of how I assess it. Like, if they're Hot Dog Water, then yeah, I might just kind of run around willy nilly
Yeah,
and have fun. But if it's like a ranked match and I know they're at least competent, yeah, the whole thing in my head is just stay alive, play things smart. Even if you've almost got them killed and you want to chase, back up. Anytime your shields are drained, back up. Try to let them recharge.
Just keep that ratio positive.
Yep.
That wins games.
Yep.
Having 30 kills doesn't matter if you have 31 deaths.
Nope. Don't tell Frank that.
Nope, I'm fine.
Sorry.
I'm fine with my playstyle. Was that? I gotta ask you to clarify. Was that hot dog water or hot dog water?
Hot water dog.
Do we have show and tell time?
No.
Have we had show and tell?
I'm
time?
thinking of tardigrades. What?
Have we had show and tell time yet?
Yeah.
No, we
You
haven't.
don't remember?
Previous episodes. Sure.
What do you got to show off here? Hey,
That was
I have one of those.
one of my favorites.
You got a watch battery holder.
Yeah, right. And then this. So now I have original copies of gold and silver,
Ooh.
because silver's the one that I.
Looks like a good condition one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Did
not
you
a fake.
verify its on authenticity?
I checked it just like this one with yeah.
Check the PCBs.
And then I got the original
Getting them counterfeit cards.
Link's Awakening,
Nice.
not DX. I like DX. DX was the first version that I beat of it though, but that's one.
Those all look like they're in good condition. You should store them properly when not being in use, sir. Those are relics. There you go. You got your little cases. Good to see. Good to see.
And then
I'll show you my cardboard box full of haphazardly dumped games.
Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, Diamond.
Ba-da-ba-ba. When's Arceus come out? Isn't it like real soon? I know the leaks
next month,
are
I think.
everywhere. The hype is pretty fucking crazy around that game right now.
And then I bought something. We can't see it really. This is for Joey's basement whenever he gets done remodeling that, because we're gonna have a full Rock Band set up there with the Rock Band.
How much did you end up getting it for?
It was $40.
You didn't even try to haggle?
It was a V stock. He's like, we don't do that here.
You were like, see these? That's my nuts.
Like, this is going into a famous YouTuber's basement, guy. Cut me a fucking break here. We're setting up Rock Band in there, whether you like it or not, and a mini stage.
That actually would be really cool, to be honest.
That would be fun, yeah.
I don't remember what songs are on Rock Band, though. My mind always goes to preferring Guitar Hero.
Well, the thing about Rock Band is that it existed as a platform for a super long time, so there's actually like a shitload of music on it now.
I was going to say, they added libraries to it, didn't
And there
they?
are Aerosmith
Yeah.
and Beatles and shit like that.
Yeah.
I remember us playing that in Andrew's room with the drum set being in there, and it's just so in that room.
The tiniest little room with your futon right in the fucking middle.
And a
I
table
like
and a computer desk and fucking
people would always want me to like bring that over to their house, and I was like, fine. And I had to take apart. I had to disassemble and put that drum set into like a duffel bag so many fucking times.
You know what's crazy about that game that I never realized, and I kind of want to like we need to make a fucking a piece of content showcasing this, because I'm just curious, and that would be a good excuse to do the research. I want to see all the peripherals that were made, all the accessories that were made for Rock Band, because I went to a yard sale last couple summers ago,
2 or 3 years
probably
ago.
before COVID, and there's a GameStop manager in my town that always has a yard sale, and she'll have like all the stuff that, the higher ups were like, get rid of it, we don't care,
Yeah.
From what I've heard with GameStop, they get to a point where they're like, either penny sell it or throw it away, we don't care, get it out of the store, we got to make room for new shit. So these managers, whether they pay a little bit for it or they just throw it in their trunk at the end of the night, I don't know, whatever, they end up with it, but it's not a secret, it happens all across the US. She always had yard sales, and I'd always check them out, obviously, because there's all kinds of like nerd culture shit and video games for decent prices. And she had these brand new sealed drum kit snare accessory for Rock Band, and they were fucking sealed, and she wanted like $5 a piece for them. I look them up on eBay, they're selling for like $3.50 a piece. I got like 5 or 6 of these kits for like $25-30 and sold them for $350 a piece. It was just an absolute steal. But it was like, when I saw those, I was like, what even is this? I had no idea that was a thing. And then when Frank asked about, he's like, oh, the effects kit for a Rock Band? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I looked it up, and sure enough, there's like a light accessory kit and a fog machine. And so I'm really curious, like, what all else is out there. There's probably all kinds of stuff that I never knew about, at least.
Well, I know that they made at least 2 different drum sets for the game. Yeah, there's the one that sort of comes with the main kit, and it has the expansion for the cymbals, but they also made one that was an actual electronic drum kit.
That you could plug in.
And it was like way more expensive.
It's a MIDI controller.
I think so, something like that. It was like but it was made by the same people. It was made. It's like an official thing.
I have way too much of a bird brain to do the drums. Like, I remember I did a sponsored video for Rock Band, and in the contract I had to do all 3 things. What it was guitar, bass,
drums,
so 4.
vocals.
I had to do all 4 of those things to showcase the game in my video. And like, so obviously guitar and bass was no big deal. And then singing, I don't even remember what I did. But the drum, dude, I could only get like 4 notes in a row before I fucked up at best. It was so bad. I hated it. I just remember raging so hard with that damn drum set.
It's a lot harder than you think.
It wasn't bad until I had to start, when you have to start using the foot drum at the same time. That, like, keeping that rhythm, dude, breaks my fucking brain. Cannot do it.
Oh, God. Maybe you should have like a drum set in your house you can practice on, Jehovah.
No.
I think you might already have.
No, I don't have it. My youngest son does. And you need to stop putting your balls on his drum set.
Don't like this. Don't like the tenor of this conversation.
Is that a xenomorph you're playing with?
Oh yeah, this is like a little xenomorph toy that I've had for a long time.
Sexy.
Oh, I think we've seen that before.
Laying
I want to
down.
know how many xenomorphs are just chilling in your place at any given time.
I have another. This one came with another one, but my dog destroyed part of it.
Oh. Time
No.
to put the dog down.
Oh, it's like sitting. Okay.
This like collection is all like these came
Just
in blind
like
bags.
weird, sexy poses.
Yeah, these came in blind bags. There's one of them is sitting in like a meditation position, you know, and like
Nice.
So
there's a bunch of weird ones,
this is
but
how
they're really expensive, and I stole them.
okay.
The store went out of
Statute of
business, so it's like,
limitations.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, they went out of business because they weren't making any profit off of all their fucking stolen xenophore.
Because the 5-finger discounters.
Sorry, man, I'm not gonna pay $20 for a blind box of 2 little figurines, but I do want them.
All right, so here's a really weird Rock Band accessory I just found out. So if you want to play it on the Xbox One, there's a legacy game controller adapter for the Xbox One to use the older peripherals, the older controllers. $419.
Brand new? Or on the reused market?
Oh, it doesn't say
Or
fucking.
resale market.
It does not say new.
On what are you looking on?
This is on Amazon, which
Yeah, Amazon's so full of resellers now, though. You can't trust anything.
I bet it's used.
I don't know. Or it's just obscure, so they're like, well, we can charge whatever the hell we want.
It's-
I have a little show and tell. I got a few things. I've been buying up the sealed copies. We got Modern Warfare 3, baby. We got Black Ops 2, baby. Son.
You know you can download
Yes.
those. You don't need.
My
a
kids are
copy.
gonna retire on this shit. Bro, you don't even know. And then we got another Steelbook. Gears of War 2 Collector's Edition. Sealed.
Let's see what's
All
on my
this-
desk here.
All this costs $6,000.
The games I have on my desk include Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan for the Xbox One,
I can't believe it's actually in an Xbox One case.
Necromunda Hired Gun for the Series X, and Indiana Jones and the Temple of some shit.
That one was so
Dr.
fucking
Jones!
horrible.
Dr. Jones!
That game was bad. Don't even.
How dare you.
Just throw it away. That was a bad game. It was just clunky as fuck.
It's
How
real
dare
clunky, but it's it's got some charm.
Yeah, like the way he walks through the water.
Yeah. Hold on, before we go any further, Frank teased me with something like months ago that we forgot about. So I live in Lawrence presently, and in Lawrence, all the streetlights are like blue for some reason at night.
In the
and I don't
meantime,
know-
I've seen the reason. I've already
Okay.
figured it out.
and I don't know why this is. And Frank was like, I looked it up. I know why this is. Don't look it up yourself. I'm going to tell you on the podcast. This was literally like 3 months ago.
Yeah, and then he never told us.
Yeah, and now I'm tired of waiting. So I would like to know why are the
Okay.
streetlights in my town blue?
It's actually a lot more nefarious than the government blah blah blah
Okay.
excuse for what's going on. They say that they're just cheap lights, cheap lamps eventually degrade over time and turn blue and purple. It's not. In studies in rats, they've proven that blue light and purple light make them more docile for the rat government to take control of the rat citizens.
Oh,
So
I see.
it's all
That's
It's
why the ones
chemtrails.
that are wearing masks are wearing masks. It's not even their fault.
and it's
The blue lights got to them.
And here's another thing: is you know why we prefer yellow lights like in urban areas?
Less
Um,
bugs.
Okay,
because it reminds us of the sun.
and then you get less crime because people think that if they're under that yellow light, their lizard brain goes on, and they think that they're out in the open, and they'll be seen slipping that Slim Jim into the car door.
They should put heat rocks out just
They
in various locations.
they
Yeah.
do in California for the reptilians.
For the homeless people.
No.
No, for the Illuminati, the elite.
Sorry.
So if you don't have that yellow light, you're more apt to do crime, which is going to destable the rat civilization in Minecraft and cause issues and strife, and we will not be able to unite together as a rat population to.
There's rats in Minecraft?
He's been playing Ratcraft.
Oh, okay.
Did you know
There are rats in Halo 3, and there are also rats in what other game? Sea of Thieves added rats. You'll be running around in your ship, and there's rats down there now, and there's an option to turn them off, which is kind of funny.
Do you know? Hold on.
But that's another thing I want to mention real quick is that Andrew and I have started playing through the Halo 3 Legendary Co-op campaign with some buds. We excluded Frank because he's too busy bowling, but it's been
That's what
fun.
he does all day at work, by the way. He doesn't actually repair machines or anything. He just bowls. He just really tries.
Just making
And
sure it's
every once in
working
a while-
okay, guys. Just making sure it's working okay.
Every once in a while, he'll like make quesadillas for people and shit, and that's all we get pictures of all day in our group chat. But other than that, yep, just bowling.
So before you interrupted me, I was not done talking about the
shut up.
rats. But did you know that a study found that sober rats? By the way, this is fucking Harvard, so this isn't just like some made up bullshit. But sober rats prefer silence. But if you give rats cocaine, they really like jazz. It's a fucking true fucking fact. Look it up, Harvard.
Right on.
Look it up, Harvard. Just type Harvard
Just-
into the your URL bar.
On it. Fucking. You guys started Ozark? Oh wait, you guys don't. Or well, I know Andrew doesn't. Frank, you do?
Yeah, I'm halfway through the last season.
Yeah, I think we're about halfway through as well. It's good so far. Much enjoying.
Do
One of my
we-
most enjoyable things about that show is hearing the like. I get the appeal now for people that have had shows happen like in their backyard because it's super cool to hear the characters just like referencing, you know, little simple things that don't really have anything to do with the bigger plot or whatever, but just hearing like, oh, there is like an FBI agent and they said something about stationing her in Jeff City and stuff like that. It's just all our surrounding towns and it's cool.
I think it was Switched at Birth. That show takes place in Kansas City, part of it at least. So, you know, if you want to watch like a Hallmark TV show about two girls who were accidentally swapped at birth and living real
hell
lives,
yeah.
then some of it's in Kansas City at least.
Definitely, dude.
Are we going to talk about the show that we have all most recently watched, being Yellow Jackets?
Yes. It was good.
So I'm going to put a blanket spoiler warning out here since we've all
Oh, yeah,
finished
for
it.
sure.
The season's over. I when this episode comes out, I'll probably go through it and listen to it, and then just like in the comments type when you can skip
What
to
time
get
or
past
whatever.
the Yellow Jackets talk.
Fuck them.
No, come on. Be nice. Let people enjoy things. But yeah, man. That shit, that's scratching some lost itches for me.
I had a fun time with it. I did, however, have a couple of just like minor irritations with it, I guess. I don't know. I feel like they didn't have enough like experts on the set when it came to certain scenes. Just with like whenever they were all I mean, just little things will take you out of it. Like whenever they break that wall, you're just like, really? You know, I don't know. Like whenever they were all figuring out who was the best with the rifle.
Yeah.
That was all cool and all, but the one that excelled with it, like the backstory was cool and everything, and I liked the fact that she was the one that was good with it. But the way that they did it, where she was just like in blind rage, just staring, and she had the rifle like down here, and she wasn't actually looking down the sights, it bothered me. It's like just have her fucking actually show in the show that she actually knows how to use a rifle, and I'm totally all over it. But the fact that and then one of the later scenes, she actually did kind of square up and aim down the sights, and I'm like, why didn't they do that for like the pivotal moment of like, oh shit, she's really good with the rifle? I don't know. And then there was like with the hunting when they would bag a deer and bring it back, they would like not field dress it, and that was annoying to me because like they're like lugging this full fucking deer full of guts. Like everybody knows you immediately stab it, you pull all the shit out, and then you carry like half the weight back to the fucking camp. Plus then you got a pile of entrails right next to your fucking fire where everybody's chilling, tripping on shrooms, waiting to get eaten by a fucking bear.
That did bother me a lot, is how they kept, like, slicing the throats of the animals right next to their, like, campfire.
Yeah.
It's like, why wouldn't you, like, take it out behind the fucking shed or whatever?
Right.
Like, just do it someplace where you're not going to be walking.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think that I think the reason they did that is because it was like an oh shit moment when they like brought it back and somebody had to like bleed it out and all that. I get that. But then they do it again later. And it was just like, has no one on the set hunted fucking deer before? Like, come on.
Well, and it kind of makes, I also understand it from the perspective where like it's really important that everybody who is a part of that crew is contributing in their way. Right. So like Shauna cuts the throat, and Nat and Travis do the hunting, and so and so does the like butchering, and
right.
So I get that, like, and because that becomes really important in the last episode, that everybody's contributing, what they can.
Right. Yeah, like I mean, my things were I was definitely into it. I just had some like nitpicky shit that like if it weren't for those few itty bitty things, it would have been like for sure one of my favorites. The other thing was whenever she climbs into the cockpit of the airplane, and she's just like, woo, and it fucking fires right up. I'm like, come on, man.
Well, I mean,
come on. I mean, I get it for the storytelling and everything, but it would have been better to me if they would have like found it, and then somebody had like some mechanic background and they worked on it for a fucking month. It was like, I think I actually got it working now, but she just like climbs into the cockpit of this fucking rainforest plane and it fires right up.
Come on. Fine.
I mean, it's fine. Again, I enjoyed it. Just nitpicky things.
Also, there's a scene where they end up doing mushrooms, and those are not psilocybin cubensis or Amanita muscaria mushrooms. You can visibly tell, like, those do not, but whatever, so.
Yeah, no, I figured that would be the case as well.
The wall for Frank is much different than everyone else's.
Oh, we ate these portobello mushrooms and got all fucked up and tried to kill somebody.
Dude, they got
not how
they were just
fucked up.
They were just gonna do that anyways.
I
also like how, so in the last episode, like, Jackie is the one who doesn't do any of the mushrooms, right? She doesn't eat the night before. So she sees all this behavior in everybody else and is like, what the fuck? And everybody else figures out that, like, they've been dosed eventually, like, the next morning. And Nat knows right off the bat because she's an old hand. But nobody bothers to tell Jackie. They're like, oh, yeah, we did all that fucked up stuff because we were accidentally on mushrooms. Right. So, like, she's just like, you guys have all lost your fucking minds.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, that's true.
And she has no idea why there is an actual explanation for some of that behavior.
You guys were having a fucking blood orgy last night.
You guys were about to cut the throat of one of the only dudes here.
Yeah, that was some heavy shit, man. It started off like a really good time for him. He was like winning the lottery, and then all of a sudden it just
flipped.
Fell off the fucking rails.
And
it's not ideal.
Yeah, they're gonna be like 5 seasons of this bullshit though, because they have to explain the whole bear whisperer bitch shit, man. Fucking no.
But like I get
so
the vibe though. Hold on, go ahead, Joey.
I was just. Did you not like how it ended, Frank?
No, well, not like just everything was like in its own little. It's just. Yeah, I need closure, but I know if they're gonna drag it out. But I don't even know. We don't even really know what we need to know. We don't even know what we don't know what we don't know. You know what I mean? Like all the occult shit and.
As long as they don't turn it into Lost, it should be
exactly.
Okay.
The fact, but like I've read some interviews.
Very similar.
I know. I've read some interviews with the writers, and they're like, we pitched this as like a 5-season thing. Like, we know that we're opening some things and then leaving them, and like we have plans for that. Like, I know that like there are questions that I've seen on the internet, and I'm like, we've got it figured out, but we just don't like. That's later. You need to like be a little patient. So I at least have a little bit of faith that they're paying attention to all of the plot threads that they're sort of starting, and that they are eventually going to like the majority of them are going to pay off. But yeah, that's like the number one concern I had because of all the Lost similar vibes.
Right. Yeah. To where, because that was, I mean, Lost hooked you in early. You're like, holy, I got to know all the answers to all these questions. And then I feel like none of those, I guess there was never really like any closure. It was just like, here's a little bit of what may have happened. Oh, and by the way, have you seen this new fucking mystery? And that's what Lost was to me.
That show is just answering a mystery with like 2 more mysteries.
Exactly.
And then
every fucking episode. Every episode. To where by the time you got to the end of a few seasons, you're just like, do I even care about any of this anymore? And then you realize you don't, and you never finish it, which is what I did.
Yeah, I didn't finish it either because it's like, fuck, I'm so sick of being tugged around on this.
Yeah.
But, so, I have some faith the Yellow Jackets is not going to do that. I mean, if they find another group of, like, soccer team people in the tail of the plane, like in the next season, I'm going to fucking lose my shit.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. That's what they did in season 2 of Lost. They're like, shit, we need more cast members. Oh, the tailies.
I don't even remember
the
that.
tail of the plane broke off in the crash, and then there was like a whole separate group of survivors that had come out of the
shit.
Lived, and then eventually over the next like season and a half, they all died, and it was just back to the principal cast. It's fucking so stupid.
Good times. Yeah, I think Lost has got to go down in history of like the best initial response, or the like just it was so good, and then just the like worst execution as it went on. To where everybody was just crushed.
One really killer season. That first season is like super fun to watch. Back when you were full of hope and you didn't know that nothing was going to work out.
And that
but the funny thing is, if you show it to somebody now, if you show season 1 to somebody now, they're gonna be like, "Oh my fuck, how many? Like, let's keep going." And you're like, "No.
Don't. I know.
Just stop.
I'm saving you so much heartbreak. You have no idea."
Yep. Just remember and live in season 1, and you'll be good.
Do you remember the hatch was that in season 2 that the centered around the hatch a lot?
I don't remember, but I remember the hatch being or maybe they found it like end of season, late season 1.
I think that season 1 ends with the hatch opening or a light going on inside of it or something like that.
Like finding out that someone's down there or something is and then they finally make it in season 2, and then the hatch is just like every episode they're inside of it, and
it becomes like such a focal point. There was the bar I worked at in Manhattan when I first.
On the thing.
Yeah, did I say this on the podcast already?
No, I'm taking mind reading classes.
Hate you.
He's the whatever from that game.
The Mentalist.
Yep.
So what do they have at the restaurant? No, we completely skipped over this. We fucked over this. What do they have up on the restaurant wall window?
No, why don't you tell the story since you fucking know it? You were there.
I don't remember it.
It's your own fucking
I
story.
forgot Frank was here. We've been staring at a NASA hat for the last 30 minutes.
The bar.
Why are you playing Game Boy? Can you not talk to us for an hour? You fucking piece of shit.
What are you doing? What are you playing?
Nothing. I'm fucking just sitting here.
God damn. Been literally staring at the NASA logo on your hat for the past 20 minutes.
Way to ruin the story, Joey.
Oh, shit.
So you were at the restaurant you worked at, and they...
No, don't even. Just stop. It's done. Ask me in the comment section if you want to know the rest of the story. I'll type it out.
The story
Fuck
will
these
be
guys.
in the comment section.
Ruined it.
Fuck. Hashtag ruined.
So,
Andrew, I've got a bone to pick with you.
Sure.
I was looking a second ago, and I'm pretty disgusted by the fact that there's 5 days left of the month, and you are at 2,835 gamer score for the month. My
Fuck
dude.
this guy.
I thought I was killing it at 1,885. You're going to make me bust out Avatar The Last Airbender
It's on sale for $5.
I know. I already bought it and installed it. I have to boot it up. Okay. And there's 1,000, and then I'll be 50 points ahead of you. I don't know
Yeah,
if we should...
if I don't do anything, which I'm a mover and shaker, man.
I know, dude. I was like, I saw your score, and I was looking through your recent played, and you've just been dabbling in like a lot. Oh, I shouldn't even say dabbling. You've been going pretty. I mean, maybe not balls deep, but at least half shaft, 3/4 shaft. So I'm proud of you.
The thing that bothers me is that there are some games that you beat in, like, if you finish the game by the end, you still only have like 150 out of the.
I hate those, man.
That's so
I mean,
annoying.
like,
because they have the extremely hard to do like fucking achievements and shit that are just.
Well, it's just like all the achievements are things that are not like really part of the game, or they're like in such a way that you like really have to try to. I don't know. I like achievements that you can sort of get by playing the game, like.
right.
And even or special conditions on doing certain things, but like I beat the game I'm talking about is Mortal Shell. So like after I beat Sekiro, I was like, I want to play some. I'm in that mood now. I want to play some more Soulsy type shit. And Mortal Shell was on Game Pass, so I booted it up and finished it in a few days. And I got like very very little in way of gamer score from it, which it's fine, but it's like it's just
kind of a lot of games manage it better than others, to where it's the same thing. Like whenever you beat a story campaign, and it's like, even if it's a short story campaign, it's like 3 hours, but especially when it's like a 10-hour game or whatever, you beat the campaign and it's like you pop the achievement and it's only 10 points. You're like, come on, give me something, man. Like a 50 pointer or something would be nice.
When I finished Sekiro, I straight up wanted my Xbox to like print a $100 bill.
Right.
It's like, this is what it.
Speaking of that, I saw someone beat it like twice blindfolded.
There was a run at GDQ this year, recently in the last couple of weeks, where somebody beat it blindfolded. Yeah.
So my question is, why are you such a bitch?
The thing is, my memory is not very good. I could never be a speedrunner because I'm never going to remember all the fucking tricks that I have to do.
Dude, some of the shit you watch, I mean, I usually only watch like the first person shooter ones, but like just remembering all the little glitches and and a lot of them are like in very precise locations, and you have to do the exact right move, and if you don't hit it just right, it's going to fuck up the whole thing. And then just go through, something that, I mean, once they beat like the fucking what's supposed to be a 9-hour campaign, it only takes them an hour. But still, that's a lot of shit to remember and to execute.
Have you seen people do runs of the like original Game Boy Pokemon games?
No.
So
that sounds terribly boring to me.
Yeah, but so the way. I mean, you can literally beat, I think it's like Red and Blue, you can beat within like 10 minutes. It's like really fast because you can glitch into the credits.
Oh, okay.
You can just like completely skip the entire game essentially. But the way that game has been routed for certain categories is so like has been so finely tuned now that like you start with a certain RNG seed on your cartridge. Once you like do things to determine what that is, you continue a manipulation to keep the same RNG like system by walking through the world in specific like prescribed steps. Like you want to take 3 steps left, and then you want to take 4 steps north, and then like so forth to keep on the specific like. And doing that will cause this Weedle to spawn that has these stats, and that is enough to beat so and so with. If you get a lucky crit or whatever. It's like, it's insane the way that people have manipulated that game nuts. At this point. It's like, if you haven't watched any of them, it's worth it just to go check one out to hear them explain like the way that the game has just been broken down over the years. It's insane. It's bananas.
I think I might have already mentioned this, but I recently watched they had, I think the official Halo channel uploaded it, maybe, because it was like fucking O'Donnell, what's his name? Martin O'Donnell? Am I getting that wrong?
I don't know the fuck you're talking about.
It was like the devs from Halo and they were watching a speed run of a legendary speed run of the original Halo Combat Evolved. And like, I've watched plenty of speed runs of some of my favorite games and stuff, but watching the developers watch the speed run and provide their live commentary on it
that'd be good.
was hilarious, because they were just like, that's completely fucking broken. And then they would like call out the guy that's responsible. They're like, oh, well, you're the one that coded the fucking whatever in that room. And he's like, yeah, my bad. It was really fucking cool. Like, even if you're not a Halo fan, it's just funny to watch and hear their reactions on that shit.
Now, I mean, now that that's like such a known community in like a known subculture in gaming, anytime you see a glitch like that, you can be like, oh yeah, I left that in on purpose for the speedrunners to find out. You know?
Yeah, you're welcome.
I just watched this like not a documentary, but just like a 20-minute YouTube video about how the developers of Back 4 Blood have like systematically ruined speedrunning for that game. Like they seemingly on purpose, because like that game has a system where you can build decks of cards. And like every time you join a new stage, you get a new card in your deck. And the cards are split into like stamina deck and like offensive, defensive, mobility. And of course, mobility is the very important one for speedrunners. And they just like continually nerfed those cards like into the fucking ground. And they even changed like entire movement mechanics. Like when the game came out, there was no momentum system. But now like you need a moment of acceleration to get from like standing still to sprint speed.
Yeah, I don't know if I remember that whenever we were playing. Well, that could be just I like there's instances that I remember, like there was one very specific one I remember. There was like an alley or a road or something, and you had to get to the house. Yeah. And in that moment, I saw that like long, and I was like, stopping and fighting is clearly a bad idea. So we would just book it through there every fucking time. And if you like tried to stop and fight, it was like way too much. So maybe they were seeing people do shit like that too. Not even just the speedrun community. And they were like, maybe we got to change this.
Like, I guess that maybe like a couple people complained that some players of the game were running far ahead and leaving parties behind online. So like one person would run through the entire level. But I don't think that this was like it doesn't seem like that was actually a real issue that was happening though. And like the way speedrunners were playing the game, when they're attempting these runs, they're playing offline with bots. So it's like there's no reason to adjust the balance in that way, because these people are playing like the way they're playing is not affecting anybody else.
Right.
And it's really specific the way that they're playing. It's not, you know. I think the video is put out by this runner, Maxi Lobes, if anybody wants to go check it out. It's worth watching. It's interesting.
Sounds hot. Do you guys remember the pit in Modern Warfare 2?
No.
Huh?
There was like a training mission where you had to go through and shoot the targets. Oh, you just had to get through it in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
That I remember, for whatever reason, getting addicted to that. And that one's gone.
Titanfall 2 had the same thing, actually.
You could do it. Yeah, I remember that right at the beginning. You could do it solo, but you could also do it co-op. I did it in 23 seconds solo. But then I remember doing it with a friend, and we did it in 19.9 seconds. And I remember just like, it was one of those things where if you know, just like speedrunning, you fuck up one little thing, and you just start it over until you get that perfect run, and getting addicted to that. I totally understand the speedrunning community and how that's appealing to them. You know, some people watch it and it's just foreign to them, but you get addicted to like, how fast can I actually fucking knock this out?
I've seen the world record holder do the Titanfall 2 one. And like if you've played Titanfall 2, the movement in that game is really, really fun. Like it gives you can wall run, you have like, I think, a double jump, you have all these cool movement options that make it really fun to play. And the track that you have to do for that bit is like a big circle. So, you know, when you finish the track, you come back to like the little atrium that you started in.
Right.
And for the people doing that, they, to get high scores, they have figured out how to build so much momentum over the first like 3 or 4 laps of that circle that by the time they're on the 5th one, they can go through it in like 10 seconds because they have hit like the terminal speed that you can hit in the game and are
That's
using
dumb.
like just using little tricks to preserve it, to just kind of barely direct themselves around it. But also while you're doing that, they have to shoot the enemies. So there's you're moving at 100 miles an hour, but you're still also having to
Sounds
hit these.
ridiculous.
It's really cool. It's really fun to watch. That and like I love to watch runs of like old school 2D games, like Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo era stuff is really fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. I wonder if there's one out there for Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh, I'm sure there is. There's
I've
gotta
been
be.
playing a little bit of that. It's been fun.
Did
Actually,
you? Is that?
I got further than I ever had.
You
Level
ordered
80.
that like big set, right?
Yeah, and I showed Frank my problem with that. Do you remember that, Frank, or were you too many Bud Lights in?
I think I was pretty well fucking shit hammered. Oh wait, are you talking about which bundle are you talking about?
The oh yeah, no, that was the Lion King bundle. I bought the Lion King bundle, and it won't let me launch the other 2 games. But then I realized that on that bundle, there's the US version. Okay, no, there's the US Sega version, there's the US
And
Nintendo version, and the Japanese version of some of those games, which I didn't realize that those were all on there, which was pretty cool. But yeah, the Zombies Ate My Neighbors that I bought the one that comes with Super Ghouls or Ghouls and Ghosts. What is it? The sequel?
Ghoul Squad or something like that.
Something. Yeah, I had never played it, and it was pretty cool, but I don't know. The controls are a little like wonkier and floatier, and the enemies are a little more capable. It seems like it was harder. It's a weird game. It was fun though.
I was looking at. I was filling out some stuff to hopefully participate in a beta for Devolver,
oh
one
yeah,
of their games they've got coming out, and I was going through the list of games that they have that are not out yet, and I came upon this one that I hadn't heard of called Demon Throttle.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I'll go check this out. And it's a physical only release. They're not selling it digitally. You have to buy a
Interesting.
cart for it. And it doesn't come out until later this
Why?
year, and the pre-order window was last year. It's closed now. So if you want to order a copy now, you can.
Secondhand market, son.
I already went on eBay. They're selling it for $150. But I this is why I love it when people have active Twitters, like companies that are actually paying attention to their Twitters. Because I tweeted at them, I was like, "Hey, am I going to be able to buy this, or am I fucked?" And they're like, "No, we're going to sell more copies. It's fine. It's just like this. The
like a
initial
wave.
run is
Right.
initial run is closed. That's all." So, like, that's cool, and I like that idea. But wow, that's like
Do they have do they have a reason behind that they've been transparent about, or
I think that the reason is just because like that's just not a thing. Like, you know, there are all these little boutique game like makers now that make physical copies for games. There's limited run, and there's strictly limited, and there's like all these other little people that make reprints, or I mean in some cases the original run of certain games
Hey,
in
just
physical.
little people isn't the preferred nomenclature, dude.
Shut up. But yeah, it's like somebody made the point that video game preservation is already something that's pretty hard to do and is not done very well. And then you have a game like this that is going to make it even more difficult.
Yeah,
you
that's
actually
odd.
have to have a physical copy of it.
Speaking of, I bought one of the big bundles from Limited Run Games for Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That was like June of last year, I think, or some shit. And they still have not shipped those. I think it's supposed to be soon, like within the next month or two, supposedly, but
I did the same thing for Spelunker HD.
yeah.
It still hasn't come out yet. I mean, like, I know supply chain was like totally fucked and everything last year. So
Yeah. But also, I get emails from them all the time of like new games that they're doing collection bundles and shit from. And now every time I get one of those, I'm just like, how much money are they putting in the bank that is for products that aren't even gonna like see the light of day for another year.
Yeah.
It started like blowing my mind thinking about it. I mean, how many people bought that Zombies Ate My Neighbors thing? And I know that there's upfront cost in that, so all that money's going to go to producing it, and then what's left over is the profit. But it's kind of wild. I mean, that was my first purchase from them, so I knew it would take a while. Like, it was a fucking pre-order, right? But yeah, it was just a couple weeks ago. I was like, did I get fucking scammed? And I looked it up, and it was, they have updates on there, and it says, expected Q1 2022 or some shit.
I had to reach out to their customer service recently because I was like, I haven't seen any updates on this for 8 months. And
right.
they're like, no, you are not looking in the right spot.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I think it'll be, hopefully, I mean, as long as the pictures weren't a complete lie, I think it's going to be a pretty cool collectible set. I'm excited for it.
I've been waiting. It keeps getting delayed. My pre-order of the Duke, the Cortana fucking Xbox controller. It keeps. Do you have one? Why does mine keep getting fucking delayed? God damn it!
Because you're not famous.
This fucking piece of shit. Are you fucking kidding?
I only got like 5. But yeah, I got 2 of them the other day. And they took forever to ship out.
And
I haven't hooked it up yet.
We're supposed to get them in like the middle of January, the beginning of January, like January 4th or 5th or something.
Something like that. I don't know.
Does it come with any Halo unlockables though? I ordered some nail polish.
Me too.
I didn't know. I wasn't even like super interested in this until I saw somebody post a video of it online. It plays like a fucking montage of Cortana on that little Xbox button.
Yeah. It's like a tiny little OLED screen, right?
I think so, yeah.
Stupid. So
yeah, it is, but
that would make a great controller to play Dreamcast ports on though, because you could have the little VMU screen on it.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. And see that? Oh, it even has the dedicated clip button. I don't know if you can see that.
That's vital.
That's funny. The funny thing is, I will never use this. I despise the Duke. I know there's a lot of like hardcore Halo players and shit. They're like, the Duke was the best controller ever made. I'm like, no. S-Type felt way better, and that's why every Xbox controller since then is basically the S-Type updated. But I will never fucking use this, but it's just too fucking cool to not have as a collectible.
And I think
Hyperkin does make really good shit. So I'm sure the ones that are going to use it, they'll have a good product.
I like that their idea when they made that controller was, what if we had 6 face buttons that you could press, but 2 of them were shitty?
The black and white.
Yeah, like they are tiny and hard to press, and like because they're out of the way.
And they're like, and then they ergonomically designed it for your average American, and not like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So like,
it's like trying to.
They talk about that in the video, in the documentary. Like, oh fuck, how are we gonna sell this to Japanese gamers?
Yeah,
because how big the controller was. They were like,
they specifically talked about that. They were like, this controller will never work in Japan. Like everybody in Japan saw that controller and was like, the fuck?
It's like holding a Mini Cooper in your hands.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
I have really fond memories of the S though. That was a nice controller. I liked.
Oh, the S-Type was great, and they moved the white and black buttons into the middle of the controller, right? On the S-Type, they were up.
No, on the S-Type they moved them. I think they might have moved them down into your sort of thumb well. Yeah. But it wasn't until the 360 when they put them on the top.
Dude, that's so weird seeing that. Like that's like the repressed gaming memory.
There was your flashlight and your grenade button.
Yeah, which made a lot of sense. The little white button, it was pretty intuitive. But it's just so weird looking at a controller and seeing that white and black button underneath the A and B on an Xbox controller. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, here, look. So the white and black were here and here, which was actually really, I mean, that's a good spot. Up above was terrible, but down here actually made sense.
That would have made sense if the buttons were like proper buttons. Like that would have been a good controller for fighting games then, because you
Right.
typically have that 6-button layout. But 2 of the buttons are like the black and white buttons are like recessed into the controller
half
and they're
the
smaller.
size.
Yeah,
What
it's like
is- on a PlayStation controller, what does it even say anymore? I think it does.
what?
Xbox. My one complaint is that these are no longer called start and select. I don't know
Oh,
why
yeah.
we got away from that. Because now, trying to teach my 8-year-old how to play Halo and just do anything on an Xbox, all the time I'll be like, hit the start button, hit the select button. And same to my wife, to be honest, But they don't understand that, they don't know, like, select's always the left button, start's always the right button
We're
on the middle. That's
going-
just, we grew up with that.
The
Spouting that off now doesn't mean shit to
We're
most
going
people.
back in time. They're putting fucking hieroglyphs on them.
the PS5 controller has, I believe that the right one is called option and then the left one is share. So at least they're labeled though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
but
right,
the Xbox one doesn't have anything on it. It's just
Yeah, and then
it's
because
just-
the follow-up is always like, oh, the one with all the fucking horizontal lines, I think. I don't remember.
yeah,
Yeah, there's
The
like
line button.
squares.
yeah, the line button and the square button.
So dumb. Just
Dang.
give a start and select.
Or just put anything on them, like label them, give them a name.
Oh, hey, I forgot something earlier.
What? We gotta wrap this up soon, but
I know
what?
we have to wrap it up now.
Oh wow.
Oh my
The
God.
Gorgonites.
Is it even playable?
Does it have David Cross and Jay Moore in it?
God, I would hope. What a
Shitty
the combo we never knew we needed until that movie,
That's right.
I
And
mean,
they
who would have
never
thought?
they never did anything by themselves after that ever again. They are always
Ever.
together, inseparable.
Jane was such a fucking douchebag. He really is not a good person, though. I mean, honestly, he's not.
It doesn't surprise me.
I'm Wait, there's like a PlayStation Small Soldiers game? Hold on, I gotta look and see how many Small Soldiers games there are.
I'm sure there's a bunch. That was back when you just made any old piece of shit
Everything,
to cash in
yeah.
on whatever movie was out.
That's been my favorite thing as of late.
Like
You could
they
just think of
stopped.
like any of those like movies or shows that you were into, like 90s, 2000s, that you enjoyed as a kid, and then look it up, and sure enough, there'll be like 2 or 3 games, and it's like, all right, which one isn't the most dog shit, and do I have something to play it on?
How many Terminator / RoboCop games are there?
Dude.
Enough, I'm sure.
There's that one. Oh, we're just gonna keep going. We need to finish this.
Yeah, I'm trying to boot this up.
Thanks,
though.
Javelin.
What? Well,
Huh?
you fucked
I'm
that up.
booting this
didn't you,
up. I'm
Frank?
booting this up. I have to get to a spot. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Javelin, for letting us use your song "Soda Popinski" as our little theme. It's a real banger. I still love it. Thanks, Tyler Edwards, for the art. Our little terrifying gravy train.
I gotta get this just for the PS1 fucking cover art. Let me go
Oh,
on
man,
eBay and find a sealed copy of.
Remember jewel cases?
They were the best. They looked the best.
THQ.
HQ.
Oh yeah.
It's in the game. DreamWorks. Okay, so Shrek is in this game.
It's in the game.
Oh, my nuts
CIB
smell like
copy.
onions.
$30 for a CIB copy of Small Soldiers on PS1. That's not terrible, right?
I think that's fine for
It's not
CIB
great.
copy of a retro game.
What is it?
That's
Like
great.
a beat 'em up? I'm confused. I don't know what I'm looking at here.
Get the Beast Wars PS1 game. That was
Yeah,
terrible.
it was a very horrible game.
I remember that.
Look at that.
Look at him go. The word of the week is Gorgonite.